Welcome to Creole and Cajun Living with Bomb Cherry. In this video, I will be making an easy pair of toddler shorts using a pattern. Okay, so here I have a piece of fabric that I am folding in half with right sides together. This is so when I cut the pattern piece, I will end up with two pieces, if that makes sense. And it also helps me to keep my fabric aligned because I am dealing with a fabric that is patterned. If you want everything to line up, this is the way to do it. Okay, so I lightly just iron over the pattern piece, and now what I'm going to do is basically just trim around it. Okay, so for some of you, this may seem tedious, but what I'm doing now is labeling the portions of the pattern. I'm labeling the back side as the back and the front as the front. And I'm also going to draw an arrow indicating what is the bottom of the pants. This will become very important later on, and you will see. Okay, so you can see that I cut two layers of both the back and the front, and now I'm going to take it to my machine and I'm going to sew in this area. Okay, so the next step I'm going to do is just open my seam allowance up and put some heat on it. Just press it open. This is not necessary, but if you want your garment to look professional, then yes, this may be a step you want to take. Okay, so I have my back and my front. I'm going to open my back piece and put my front piece on top with the right sides facing each other. Okay, so you will notice that the back piece is larger than the front piece, but do not worry about that. You just want to go to the crotch area and you want to align them, pin in that area, and then from there I'm going to pin down each side of the legs, making sure to match up my pattern, right? Because I'm dealing with stripes, I want my stripes to match. Okay, so I'm taking this over to my machine and I'm going to sew that area in which we just pinned. Okay, so back to the table. And now what I'm going to do is press open those seams. Now remember, this isn't a requirement, but if you are selling your garment or if you're giving it as a gift and you want it to look more professional, then you may want to, like I said, press out those seams. So at this point, what I'm doing, I'm looking for my identifying marks and items. I place pins at the bottom of each leg. So now I'm going to look for each of the pins and line them up towards the bottom. Woo, I finally figured it out. Let me tell you, I felt like I was doing a Rubik's Cube for a minute. Okay, but now that I got it situated, I'm going to make sure that I line my lines up correctly. This will determine whether you are a pro or if you are a beginner. Okay, so back to the table I go. And now what I'm going to do is remove all pins from the garment. And then I'm going to flatten out those seams that I just created. Okay, so now I'm going to create the casing for my elastic. I'm just going to simply roll over that raw edge and press it down. And then when I get that all done, I'm going to make a larger fold over, just enough for the elastic to be able to fit through. And now I'm just going to pin this fold over to make sure it stay in place. I'm also deciding where am I going to leave the little opening where I can thread my elastic through. So once I decide on the placement, I'm then going to take this over to the machine and get the sewing. Okay, so here I am. I remove a portion of my sewing plate in order to make this a little more easier to sew. And I'm also switching to a zigzag stitch. Okay, so back to the table. And here I did a zigzag stitch all the way around. I left a space so I can thread my elastic within the casing without having any issues. And I'm trimming away any excess threads. They may need to be trimmed at this time. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we have here. It's taken me about 15-20 minutes at the most. That's from cutting the pattern all the way to this point. And I'm not even done, but there's only a very few minor things I have to do. That would be to complete the waist and to hem the bottom. But I'm not going to do that during this video. What I'm going to do is save that for a part 2, where I will be creating something else that I think may make this project even better. So I want you to make sure that you stay tuned for the next video. If you watch most of this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Share it with your family and friends. And don't forget to subscribe.